Negro VMX here for another round of comic book reviews. First up is a book from last week that I didn't get around to, Punisher War Journal number 22. Now, this book honestly came off as not that interesting, as the Punisher spends nearly the entire issue in the custody of S.H.I.E.L.D., where he sat down in the back of an armored van and told what his problem is by G.W. Bridge, for whom capturing the Punisher has become much less of a job and much more of a crusade. In the end, his new sidekick, who refuses to believe that Frank killed Toddy while under mind control, is trying to save him, while Jigsaw is trying to kill him. The issue ends there, with Jigsaw having attacked the van. To add to the fact that not much of anything happened, the artwork in this series, while very much improved over the way it used to be, is still too weird for me to get into. It's this weird sort of style where the artist can't seem to figure out whether he's trying to draw a realistic style or a cartoonish style, and everyone winds up looking like mutants or something. I can't recommend this one, although the book is slowly improving. Moving on to this week's books, first up we have Green Lantern Corps number 27, where we get to see the opening of the new Warriors Bar and Restaurant on Oa, which is being run by Guy Gardner and Kyle Rayner. I can't help wondering if they don't have, more official things to do, though it is still a cool idea. Somewhere else in the galaxy, some unknown threat is targeting the families of Green Lanterns and dropping their eyeballs on Oa, though I wonder how they got close enough to just drop them without burning up in the atmosphere. It makes for a very dark, striking, and grisly image, something this particular series has become known for. I'm not completely sold on the new art style, though I think I'll just have to adjust to it, as I can't come up with any specific complaints for it. Overall, it's a good, solid issue. Next up, we have some real crap, though. Trinity number 11. I don't know what the deal with this series is so far, but I can barely read through an issue without falling asleep. On Earth 3, the Crime Syndicate of America has asked the Justice League of America for some help to get their shit together, which the JLA agree to, though under duress. Superman proceeds to act like a total cock, something that has been going on for a while. Turns out some unknown force is bringing the Trinity closer together in some weird way and making them share personality traits or something. So Batman is acting a little like Superman, Wonder Woman is acting a little like Batman, and Superman, well, he's just being a total dick. The backup feature is equally coma-inducing, with Gangbuster and Hawkman fighting the same schmucks who Robin and Nightwing fought last week. Very, very, very boring. Over in Final Crisis Revelation number 1, the Spectre is going after the supervillains who were responsible for killing the Martian Manhunter, starting with Dr. Light as he's at his absolute creepiest. I mean, I'm talking creepier than he was in Identity Crisis here. Anyway, for some reason the Spectre is unable to punish Libra, and Libra kicks him around, which gives him some major villain cred. A couple of villains also approach Libra asking him for his help in dealing with the Titans, though I'm not sure if they mean the Titans or the Teen Titans. Crispus Allen winds up pretty despondent and losing his faith and tries to give up, though the spirit of vengeance overwhelms him and somehow he has the urge to go after the Question. I guess we'll find out why next issue. I had a hard time reading the Question parts of this book, though they're not quite as uninteresting as I thought they would be. The art is a problem also. It's absolutely awful. It's trying too hard to be dark, and it's pretty much a goddamn mess. The story, though, it made it worth it for the most part, which is something to say, as I usually don't get into Spectre stories very much. Moving over to Amazing Spider-Man number 567, I gotta wonder, what the fuck happened? The past few issues of this book have been very entertaining, and although this issue is entertaining, it's overwhelmed in terrible writing. The new Kraven turns out to be the old Kraven's daughter, making her like the third child of Kraven just to show up out of nowhere. Peter would also have us believe that he has no spare costumes or web shooters, though he comes up with a new costume at the end of the story anyway. He tries to act like Daredevil and does nothing to hint to Kraven that Vic isn't Spider-Man, which puts him in danger for the future, especially since Kraven is never taken into custody. Weird, badly thought out, shittily executed, and it's just dung. Up next is Action Comics number 868, and this is the third part of the Brainiac arc. I gotta say, this series has been great lately, and this issue is no exception. Excitement, great art, a compelling plot, and even a bit of humor thrown in. It really has everything. In the story, Superman comes face to face with Brainiac for the first time, finding that he's really no match for the alien collector of cities. Supergirl also shows up at the Daily Planet looking for her cousin, who, in an attempt to protect her, has left her back on Earth, which does upset her a bit. The Daily Planet scene leads to a very funny confrontation between Supergirl and Cat Grant, which simply has to be read to be believed. Overall, a great issue that you definitely should not pass up. And speaking of books that you shouldn't be passing up, Batman number 679 is another winner, not only moving forward the story of Batman Rest in Peace, but it's all finally starting to make some sense. As Batman goes around in a new costume believing he's from another planet, it turns out he's not nearly as whacked out of his gourd as we've been led to believe, as the entire thing is some sort of failsafe he thought up a long time ago in case he ever really did lose his shit. So, although the Black Glove has invaded the Batcave, broken open Arkham Asylum, created havoc, driven Bruce nuts, and he's working with the Joker, and he also seems to have those Joker black and red Harlequin flowers that were recently seen. Despite all this, it does seem that there is some chance that Batman might come out of this with his marbles intact, though we'll have to see. The art is great, the writing is better, and for once, its charm is not all in its surrealism, as the book, for some point, actually makes sense. Lastly, we have Booster Gold number 11. Though the presence of Geoff Johns is sorely missed, this series looks like it might survive without him, giving us a fun tale of time travel with just the right hint of seriousness. Booster, who is still dealing with his sister now being alive, is sent to make sure a bank robber gets away from Batman, because due to Batgirl having destroyed his time travel device, he never goes back in time to find a certain hospital, and all this causes Thomas Wayne not to go to the movies that day and Batman to never exist. So Booster goes around dressed up like Killer Moth, which is funnier than it should be, and he lets the guy get away. However, this only causes things to get weirder. The story should be confusing, but manages not to be. The art does its job, and I still feel that this is Booster Gold, which is what I was worried about after Geoff Johns' departure from the book. It's definitely worth a look. Well, that's about it for this week. I couldn't get to everything, but what I didn't, we'll just wait until next week. See you then.